Let me introduce you to Sam. He's a sim like many others, or rather, will be a sim like many others. Because Sam doesn't actually yet exist, right now we're going through all the possibilities Sam could face in the Sims universe. Could it be My Sims, or Sims 1 for the PS2? Oh, it looks like Sam will be created in Sims 3 on the Nintendo 3DS. But why is Sam so upset? The 3DS version is one of the least talked about Sims entries online. And on YouTube you will mostly only find videos that are over a decade old. Could it be a forgotten hidden gem? After all, it was a launch title for the Nintendo 3DS, so it must be good, right? Or was the memory of this game buried away on purpose? So together with Sam, we will scavenge and explore this archaeological find of a Sims game. I will take you through my 20-hour playthrough journey and you will see romance, violence, career struggles, a lot of fires, Zane, he's there too, Zane, and a complete societal collapse. But of course, we will also look at all the features or lack thereof. So sit back, relax and enjoy my experience of The Sims 3 on the Nintendo 3DS. The Sims 3 originally released on June 2nd, 2009 for PC, Mac and mobile platforms. It was one of the most feature-packed Sims games we've ever seen. There was a whole new open world to explore without any loading screens. Life would just continue no matter whether you were at home, in the park or playing a whole different household. And in general, the core gameplay was much deeper and refined. To this day, it's one of the most beloved Sims entries, if not even the most beloved entry. So it wasn't surprising that a year later, in October 2010, Sims 3 would arrive on the PS3, Xbox 360, DS and Wii. On their own, the non-Nintendo games were quite similar to the PC version. However, the Wii and DS ones stood out a little due to their quirky lower performance. But then, it took another year for The Sims 3 to finally arrive on the Nintendo 3DS. And the wait was for a good reason. The handheld console just didn't exist yet. So in March 2011, The Sims 3 was actually one of the Nintendo 3DS's launch titles, right along games such as Nintendogs Plus Cats, Pilotwings Resort and Steel Diver. This moment was a great chance to show off what the console would be capable of with its novel 3D feature and improved performance. But the lineup wasn't too much to write home about, and The Sims 3 usually isn't even remembered in retrospect. It was sort of just there. And looking at the launch trailer's view count, and then some random launch videos on The Sims YouTube channel, such as the PC launch, Island Paradise Pack, or even Fastlane stuff, the attention the 3DS version received completely pales in comparison. But if there's one thing that everyone was excited about in the comments, it's that you can finally
woohoo in 3D.
Fast forward over a decade later. I was a bit of a late adopter of the Nintendo 3DS and I'm also a fan of The Sims. So logically, one day I wondered whether there was any Sims game on the 3DS to begin with. And then I saw The Sims 3. I was pretty excited about it, but couldn't find any videos that weren't super old. On Reddit, there are barely any threads about the game, and the majority of people say that the game is really bad, unfinished, and to stay away from it. The same goes for the reviews on YouTube from back then that basically have a similar tone of "avoid this game."
It ain't worth playing. It ain't worth downloading. It ain't worth remembering.
In general, the consensus seems to be that you should instead try the version on the Nintendo DS or Sims 3 Pets. Apparently that's more finished. So I did the only reasonable thing to do in this situation. I completely ignored anything I read about it online. Opinions on the internet tend to skew negatively, so out of curiosity I wanted to try it for myself just to see how bad it really is. I braced for a dreadful time with the game, and honestly I procrastinated on recording any footage for a few months before I finally set myself down. And that brings us back to Sam. Sorry to keep you waiting. Welcome to the 3DS, Sam! So right off the bat, we can tell that they were trying to replicate the Sims 3 feel from the PC quite a bit. And at first sight, it all feels pretty familiar. However, on the second side, it's pretty clear that the sim creator is very stripped down. Where in the original you have all sorts of sliders for the body, here it's all condensed into two options. athletic and unfit, I guess. The age of the sim is also completely gone, but we'll get to that detail a bit later. Well, at least gender equality stayed the same. Then we have one of the features that was mentioned over and over again in the articles back then. They were really proud of this one. Face mapping using the new facial recognition feature of the 3DS. I would use it myself, but the launch trailer suggests using it on someone hot instead. So here is Will Wright, the father of The Sims himself. Nothing sexier than that. We'll just have to snap a photo of him and... That's not quite how I remember him. Maybe a different picture. No. Let's do Giga Chad. He has facial features. All of them, really. Okay, it barely changed anything. Will Wright confirmed Giga Chad? Alright, so I tried to recreate him. This is kind of what you would have expected. But yeah, face mapping technology sounded like a really good buzzword in 2011. I guess we'll have to do it in the good old manual way. So Sam is not a Chad. Quite the opposite. He has thick, friendly eyebrows that do nothing less than dancing to express themselves. We can select the type in this menu and then screw around using these two axes until we find the right constellation. He also has big open ears to listen to everybody and a tiny chin that represents Sam's harmlessness. And with a goofy smile like that, we've basically wiped any sense of danger from this man's face. Next we have the hairstyles. Yup. This is all there is. I know that you can unlock things later on if you befriend specific Townies. For example, this clown hat. And women have a bigger selection, but even then it's meager at best. I also unlocked the pink hairstyle, but it's labeled as a hat for some reason, so take this initial selection with a grain of salt. The same things goes for clothing. The choice of clothes is very limited and the style... If we wait a few more years, these will become trendy again. And like the hairstyles, you can also unlock a few sets of clothes. As per usual in The Sims, you can put together different outfits for different occasions. There are the regular clothes, formal clothes, pyjamas, and sporting attire. For the personality, there are a total of 16 different traits you can choose from. Some of them don't go together, such as friendly and mean-spirited, so the selection is very overviewable. To end it off, you can select a lifetime wish, which will act as the main goal of this sim. For Sam, I selected swimming in cash, cause he might be really friendly and goofy, but buried in there is also a bit of a crazy megalomaniac. And that's it. That's Sam Small. And while you've seen footage of me creating a different sim, that's actually from a tiny bit later in the game. For some reason, you can only create a single sim to start off your household. Yeah, I don't know who came up with this. It's just how it is. For now, let's choose one of the starter houses. There are a total of 3 to choose from and also an empty lot. They're all pretty humble beginnings, but offer their own distinct flavors of poverty. What do you think of Trailer Park Bungalow, Sam? It's your new home. Remember, your last name is Small. You have to live up to it somehow. So, in the beginning the game greets us with a tutorial if it's your first time playing. And an odd thing that you sort of notice immediately is that the world is displayed on both screens. I can't really think of many games that do this. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker has a similarly clumsy thing going on. You see, the top screen shows you the world in both 2D or 3D. Remember from the trailer? This is where you do all the 3-dimensional woohooing. Here, the view is always locked to the currently active sim. There's no way to move around and you can only zoom in and out, as well as rotate the camera. As for the 3D feature, while not the smoothest experience with walls and objects not always disappearing when you expect them to, it's cool and does what it needs to do. At the bottom, well, that's the touchscreen. Here we can do all the interactions just as you would expect. We can also go through the in-game menus, and you can also use the joystick or the stylus to move around, while this virtual joystick over here controls the camera above. Overall, it's really strange. I'm honestly surprised this got approved. In comparison, Sims 3 Pets, that released a mere 7 months after this, went for a much more traditional approach. For now, let's get Sam a proper job so he can start from nothing and eventually retire in a comfy home in nature without anyone to bother him. In terms of careers, there are quite a few, but they're all the basic ones we sort of know from The Sims 1. Okay, let's do politics. That's probably the easiest way to make money. At least in real life, am I right? Sam only has to talk the talk and then cash the cash. So let's go. Work, or whatever politicians do. To influence career progress, you can select whether to work normally, work hard, chill around, or improve a relevant skill. Those can stress your sim out or make them entertained. And once the progress meter is filled, there's usually a promotion unless their mood is catastrophic. Speaking of which, welcome home! Oh boy, Sam, you're not looking too good. What are all these red symbols? Are you avoiding paying taxes already? Oh no, those are moodlets! A staple feature that you can find in any Sims game in existence is the needs meter. Whether to go to the toilet, get entertained, or eat something. Yeah, no, it's not here. It does probably exist behind the scenes, but it only manifests in the form of these moodlets. If Sam needs to go to the toilet, you'll see this symbol. If he's hungry, this one. And if he's really stressed out, well, there's one for that too. It exists in The Sims 3 on PC and other consoles as well, but never as a standalone thing without the needs meter. While it seems like a bad system, it communicated surprisingly well what I have to do for my Sims to feel better. In this case, we'll send Sam straight to the shower, cause he's stinky. And how about we get him a TV to reduce his stress? Now that's an accomplishment if I've ever seen one. Oh, what's this symbol? Ah, it's the moodlet for when someone steals your new TV the same day you bought it. Quick, Sam, you can still stop him. Wait, what? Mike? Oh my god, call the police. Don't mind Sam, officer. This is just a coping mechanism. What do you mean we're going to fine you 500 simoleons? It was Mike, the guy carrying around the big TV that you probably just walked past. Aw, poor Sam. Okay, we're not going to let this be Sam's downfall. He still has a job, so we've got Sam's financial future covered. But now we have to set our priorities straight. We really need to get back to working on that whole woohoo in 3D thing. So, in order to add a new mating partner to our household, we have to pause the game and then select Create a Townie. This brings us to the Sim Creator, where I will make Lauren Steele. She's a powerful but loyal woman who doesn't have time for other people's flirtation attempts.
I don't have time for other people's flirtation attempts.
She's ambitious and strives for an athletic future. And if you thought Lauren would be part of the household now, you have to earn that girl's respect first. Yeah. I have to admit, I thought it was as easy as that, but you actually have to build a relationship with strangers first before they're comfortable moving in with you. I know, so weird, right? And this is literally the only way to increase your household from 1 sim all the way to a max of 3 for some reason. But yeah, with someone who's immune to flirting, I've definitely made it a bigger challenge than I intended to. Alright, Sam Small. Maybe no Lauren, but we'll just have to go for the small wins today. How about we go enjoy the weekend by taking a look around town to influence our first potential voter, Sam? Uh-oh, what is this icon? That doesn't look like an open world to me. You had one job. Oh my god, I can't believe I have to do this. Alright, it's The Sims 3, but not open world. What do you mean the Nintendo DS version has an open world? Okay, I've also enjoyed The Sims 1 and Sims 2. Those weren't open world. I'm sure we can make something of this. Okay, according to the booklet, this town is called River's Bend. You never see that name anywhere in the game, only when you have too much time on your hands. So there are different locations you can visit, which sounds fancy, doesn't it? Because it's the plural form of location, but there are just 2. Union Park is my favorite one because it has the library. That's also the only place on this lot where you can actually go and interact with people and objects such as books and computers. The rest, however, are either shops or a ton of rabbit holes. There's a restaurant, a spa, and even a cinema. Oh, and a clown. He's called Zane. Why does he have 2 big tears on his face like he's crying? Apparently Sam wants to befriend him. Maybe deep down he sees something of himself in Zane. Don't we all a bit? You'll often have to go to town because after a few days, Sims get a moodlet called Stir Crazy, which can only be addressed by going out. It's a smart way by the game to make us mix things up a little. Initially, I would spend time at the library for a while, but really, you just have to enter the town and the moodlet disappears. So you can literally put one foot in the park and then leave again. The second location is Industrial Center, which as the name subtly implies is more industrial. It has two areas to explore. There's a gym where you can run on treadmills, and there's also a museum where you can look at artwork. Additionally, there are other rabbit holes such as a restaurant and a nightclub. There's probably a lot of dancing going on in there, but we'll have to use our imagination for a bit. Not for this random fight over here though. What a strong performance right there! Who is this girl? Joanne? How about some wine? If we befriend the bully, Sam should be safe, right? Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. And back in they go. You know, she may seem violent and chaotic, but at least she's there for Sam, you know? Unlike other people. I think they will get along. It's good to be home again. That was a relaxing weekend out. But work is calling again. The people need you, Sam. Democracy and such, remember that thing? On your job, you'll occasionally encounter 50-50 moments where there's a situation at work and you'll have to decide which option to choose. Here's an example. Sam spotted a smudge on a teleprompter that covered up a few letters. I thought, observant and helpful as he is, it should be his duty to wipe the prompter, right? But oh no! Instead he startled the candidate during the live speech. Aw, Sam meant well, but it ended up firing back. So yeah, the consequences usually aren't too severe. Here's another example. Should Sam sabotage the mayor's speech or not? Sam always has good intentions. Maybe the people will recognize this and title him mayor instead. Oh, never mind. Sam just lost his job. Sometimes, yeah, there can also be substantial consequences after all. Now he's stinky, out of a job, and becoming a couch potato. He dreamt so big, but all he can do now is just feel so small. But hey, on the bright side, at least it's weekend again. But life at home isn't exactly the most relaxing. Honestly, I can imagine it reminds Sam more of work than unemployment. Everything will break and get dirty. I'm not kidding. Things will constantly break after only 2 or 3 uses. If you're lucky, it lasts a bit longer, but it's very common for sinks to leak, toilets to overflood with feces, and the computer to become a high voltage threat just from looking for a job online. It's very tedious and feels like the most offensively blatant way to make the game seem like there's more to do than there actually is. It takes so much time out of the day, and Sims will regularly just place plates on the farthest table even though there's a perfectly good sink next to them to do the dishes in. And once we're done with all the tedium, there's not that much for Sam to do. I tried looking for a side hustle for him, for example by making dwarfs, painting artwork or writing a novel on his computer, but nope, that's just not a thing here. It took a few more hours until I found the only side hustle in the game, which is playing guitar for money. But that's not really Sam's ambition, so back on the job hunt we go. And he's a researcher now. Congratulations! In his free time, Sam can keep himself busy with the TV, reading, playing chess, and some other activities. However, the highlight of The Sims, as this particular S in the name implies, is that there is more than just one Sim. In fact, there are quite a few of them, and you'll meet them in a bit of a duct tape together fashion, by randomly appearing on your lot. They won't just walk by, but literally loiter in front of your door. Sometimes they'll ring the bell a couple of times. Usually they'll just stand around though. But when you do interact with them, they'll sometimes just decide to walk away and leave. There's nothing you can do about it except invite them inside. It's like there's a set timer. It will cancel any queued interactions and you cannot select them anymore. However, for every Sim that leaves, there's one that shows up. It's like one Townie passes the relay stick to the next each time. And it feels really eerie when it just keeps going through the night. I'm surprised Sam doesn't go crazy and want to kill them all with people literally ringing at 2 a.m. However, between all of this nocturnal harassment are also some pearls. Remember Lauren? As Sam figured himself and his life out again, there seemed to be a bit of a spark. The relationship itself initially took forever to develop, as I would try chatting, but that interaction takes very long. But on the other hand, complimenting someone is an interaction of mere seconds. For some reason, it seems to have a similar value as chatting. So, in a matter of an in-game afternoon, you can literally go from strangers to close friends just by spamming compliments. At this rate, Sam will win Lauren's heart in no time. Oh, she just walked away. Rude. Oh yeah, Joanne. She showed up in the middle of the night. That's not something I've seen Lauren do. Actually, maybe Sam should reconsider who's really cared for him all this time. Lauren or Joanne? And unlike Lauren, Joanne actually... Oh. Okay, never mind. They're both equally weird. Oh, Lauren is here again. Yes, keep complimenting her over and over and over. Give her all those beautiful adjectives. Use them until all dictionary books become jealous. Oh my god, speaking of jealous. Joanne, they're hugging right in front of her. Awkward. Wow, all of this is actually working. Why is there even a loneliness epidemic when you can just make a bestie in an afternoon? I can already ask Lauren to move in? Okay, let's try it. Let's see what happens. Oh no, Sam has to go pee really bad. Or maybe it's number 2? Come on, I'm sure you can push through. Just reminisce about good old times real quick. Wait, is this a countdown? Okay, abort mission. Sam, quick, go to the toilet. Let's give Lauren another compliment so she stays anticipating. Slowly but steadily. Wait, Lauren also has to pee? She peed herself. And left? What? Oh yes, she's back. Okay. She probably had to change her pants real quick. Now, let's ask her to become our roommate. Will she say yes? Wait, what? I am the one who has to say yes? Well, duh. Lauren is part of the household. Wow, we can control both of them now. Lauren feels flattered. I wonder how that happened. She's not quite used to being part of this place yet. You can come in, it's okay. This feels weird. I can just switch between both of them like this now. So, Lauren's ambition is to become a sports legend. But unfortunately, for multiple days on end, I just couldn't find any job for her. But sitting around and doing nothing, that's not what Lauren is known for. She did have a trick up her sleeve to build her career up in advance. Time traveling. You see, when you leave your home to go to town, you can spend all day there and enjoy life to the fullest. Time flies, it's past midnight, and with all the fun it can sometimes feel like those precious memories happened just yesterday. Which technically they did, except it's actually still today. Like in The Sims 2, when you leave your home, time on the main plot freezes, and you're on some sort of separate timeline here. That way, Lauren went to town, spent the whole day at the gym, came back a lot stronger, and was still on time to relax. It's a bit wacky and also messes with the Sims' sleep schedules, which can prove to be pretty useful. Sam, for example, also learned about this trick and was able to rake in one promotion after the other like this. But all this unemployment was gnawing at Lauren's self-esteem eventually. She hoped to find some comfort with Sam, and up until this point I didn't know you could get called in this game, but Lauren definitely found out. Guess who's calling? It's Joanne! What a cockblock, oh my god! At least Zane is there for Lauren, but still crying with those 2 tears on his face. Maybe he knows something we don't. Look at those traitors. Why talk to Joanne, Sam? Why talk to her when you have Joanne at home, Sam? Oh, pointing out flaws. Ooh, boy. Sam, you're getting yourself into deep trouble. And Joanne is part of the household now. Sam, this is not what they meant with twinning is winning. This is a real problem, Sam. You can't just be like, A little bit of Lauren in my life, a little bit of Joanne by my side, a little bit of Zane. Oh, that was a weird dream. Wait, no, this is still a thing. I can't make them like each other. I tried to get them all to town so they could have a bit of a team building session or something, but they really don't get along. With tension still high, we're finally going to experiment with the 3DS exclusive Karma features. This is one of the unique quirks of the 3DS version of Sims 3. The first one requires me to shake the 3DS. Oh, money is raining from the sky. It's so much. Look at the bags of money. Wow. So if I rub the plumb bob, I can affect the Sims in specific ways. I can make Zane shit himself and vomit. Aw, I'm sorry. That's not a good look. I don't know who did that to you. What does singe mean? Oh, it's a lightning bolt. Wait, does she get shocked if she interacts with the electronics now? Oh yeah, she does. Wait, no! Joanne is dead? What? Where's the Grim Reaper? Oh my god, what did I do? I didn't think it would actually kill her. In The Sims 1 it didn't do that. Oh my god, this is canon now. I can't even interact with her remains, like, at all. I'm tapping on it, but nothing happens. Oh, Sam is mourning Joanne's death. Does Lauren also have this moodlet? No, of course not. Yeah, there could really only be one girl with a spicy haircut in this household. It turns into Tombstone outside, but still no interaction possible. Oh, how sad. Whoever did this to her, not a nice thing. Eventually, Lauren ended up finding a sports job, and both her and Sam went through a period of working very hard to forget Joanne's electrocution. And as they raked in all the cash, it was finally time to move on from the tainted trailer park. Together, they found an apartment in the middle of town. It's a huge lot that I'm not exactly sure what to do with. But hey, it's divided in two. That's perfect for two besties that are close, but not that close. However, after I set everything up, Lauren and Sam just kept going into each other's apartments and spending time with each other. There really weren't that many boundaries. Ooh, Lauren's muscles feel sore. Maybe a massage could help. I know just a person for that. Sam! Come here! Sam! Come give her a massage! Oh, it's developing into more than expected. Ooh, they're holding hands. It's official! They're a couple. The apartment, her job, the money, now even Sam. It all led to Lauren finally accepting herself again and returning to the good old Lauren we always knew. But this time with even more energy. Yeah, I like this. She seems whole and more put together. Aw, look at them, they're so adorable together. Oh, they're sleeping with their eyes open. Yeah, that's less adorable. Okay, I can't watch any longer. They belong together. We need to tear down these walls and stop pretending they're independent beings, but merely two halves of the same soul that can only be whole once these bricks start crumbling. Let's remove this door. We only need one now. Now they're really starting to live life. The apartment is so huge. I mean, look at all of this. There's even a balcony twice the size. I don't really know what to fill all this space with. Like, we have all the money to get whatever we want, but everything is sort of already here. Especially in terms of object diversity, the game does at some point feel very meager. And not everything you see in the buy mode is all there is. You can also go to stores in town to get special items, for example. However, even then, admittedly, the selection is very limited. You won't find things like aquariums, pianos, drawing boards, pet cages, and so many other hobby objects. Despite the game cover suggesting otherwise, there are also no pools and no beaches. So in all honesty, I really don't know what the game expects of me to do with all of this space. Either way, we're not here for the opulent home decoration, we're here for... that's right, something that's unique to this one Sims version. Woohooing in 3D. At first I struggled a bit to make it happen. I even thought the feature actually didn't exist altogether, because the option just wouldn't show up. But it turns out that Sims seem to have moods towards each other alongside their relationship. Depending on the interactions at that moment, you will come across moods such as, for example, polite, angry, and so on. So despite dating, you can just be in bed together, but in a polite mood. The further you are in these moods, the more interaction options you get. Initially I can only chat, tell jokes, post and so on. But as you interact you can compliment, ask how they're doing and build up the mood over time. So you basically just need to warm it up to get too flirty. It just takes time. But with Sam's mad scientist outfit, it sure doesn't take that long until they're both laying in bed together and that promised interaction finally appears. Oh yeah, there are animals in this game by the way, but they're only encountered in bed. After all of these new experiences, eventually the questions arises how Sims are actually made. But with a maximum of 3 Sims in one household, yeah, there's not a lot of room to make more Sims. And even if we could, that's not 2 adults and a child. No, this game is adults only, and not the sneaky National Geographic kind. But they literally don't get older and can't die of old age kind. There are no babies, no children, no teens, and no elderly. Just eternally 25-year-old humans. So, by extension, sadly, you can't woohoo and expect an adult toddler to appear. Woohooing is just a fun pastime activity in this game. And that's it. Sims just get made in a factory or something. I don't know. But at least there's one last way for Sims to find a more meaningful spark in their love lives. They can get married. It's not really a feature I had expected to be in this game, but on the back of the 3DS box you can see a screenshot of an actual wedding. It seems to be a whole separate wedding location or ceremony, so I got curious enough to find out how that works. Despite there being 4 outfits you can set up for your Sims in the Sim Creator, I've never seen the game actually use the formal attire. So I knew then that today is the day. For the very first time, Sam put on his suit, waited for Lauren at the spot where they tore down the apartment wall, and asked that one question. Oh? She seems hesitant. She said yes! They're engaged! Okay, what now? There's no calendar in this game, so I doubt I'll have to wait a week or a year. I guess it must be an interaction then. Oh yeah, here it is. So, do they go somewhere now? Who the hell is this random guy? This is the marriage. That's it. Wow, okay. Were my expectations too high? That was so underwhelming. Oh my god. Oh, and on a side note, both Sam and Lauren did eventually reach their lifetime wishes. The big prize, an award, a moodlet that keeps them happy forever, and 2,000 karma points, which apparently maxes out at 9,999, so that was completely useless. Which brings us to the 3DS exclusive karma features. It uses the 3DS's motion, microphone and touchscreen capability. Yes, I know I've already explained some of it. Well, what I didn't explain to you is what happens when you shake your 3DS in disappointment. At first, money bags start falling from the sky. We know this part, but you just need to keep going. There we go. Everything is breaking down now and catching fire. But see, this is the important part. You need to keep shaking. Uh-oh, Lauren is on fire. But the fire department is immune to it all. That's convenient. Wow, look at all this damage. I can't believe this happened. All just because the developers or some marketeers set expectations really high and then couldn't be bothered to program a proper wedding location in time. What a shame. Yeah, this is what you get, you two. I wanted my wedding to be, your wedding to be something real, not just a mundane occurrence with a random stranger. You know, maybe it was time to move anyway. Welcome to your new cabin in the woods, Sam and Lauren. Such a peaceful area surrounded by nothing but nature. This is the perfect place to settle down and live small again. But we do have some standards. The current building is not only too tiny, it also has an outhouse. What is this? The 19th century? Sims medieval? Hello, we need to remodel all of this. So, I'm aware it's almost the end of the video, but here we go. We're finally talking about the build mode. I just don't think it's that exciting. It's mostly what you'd expect it to be, and then a bit less. Walls are all at 90-degree angles, and the selection for wallpapers and flooring would put almost any home department store out of business. I tried crafting something that looked somewhat neat, and I particularly like how the kitchen turned out. Other than that, I really feel like I already pushed the game to its limits with this creation. But the game also pushed me to my limits with this creation. So you know what? We're going to talk about the last subject in this video, death. And even with death, the selection is limited. Cause of course it is. In this game, Sims can only die in 3 ways. For example, from getting singed and then touching an electronic device. I've heard it can happen. Then we have burning, fire bad. Narrowly escaped that one. And then, ultimately, we have starvation. For example, by a psychopath making YouTube videos. This little cabin in the woods isn't just an idyllic retreat for Sam and Lauren, it's also B&B. Maybe you're not familiar with it, so let me get you acquainted with the concept here. Basically, you show up and one of our hosts greet you with a warm and friendly smile. They will then lead you to your modern and minimalistic stay. To make matters a bit more engaging, they will challenge you to a chess game. That is when you realize that this is going to be a memory that is going to last a lifetime. The first visitor stayed with us for 3 days straight and then went home with a lot of satisfaction. And by home I mean hell. These Townies are all going straight to where they belong. They've strayed in front of our doors like demonic zombie-like figures for long enough. This behavior deserves to be punished. Sam and Lauren never wanted to do this, yet these Townies kept following them with their sinful behavior, even into the peaceful sanctuary that was going to be this cabin in the woods. But now it's too late. There is a reason why no one mentions the town's name of Rivers Bend, because it was never meant to exist in the first place. With every batch of Townies, we're liberating this world from its own suffering, slowly starving every single one of them, slowly starving the phone book from all of its names. No one is home right now. Oh my god, that's such an eerie message. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps. Jesus. What's wrong with Sam and Lauren, obviously? Oh, I have tears in my eyes. What's going on? There's no one left. Except, of course, Zane. He's the last remaining soul besides Lauren and Sam. He's the only real family friend that stayed with us through rough times as well as golden ages. He's part of the household now because he will have to take good care of this world. We tried to free it from all of its demonic creatures, but I ended up finding out that they just regenerate. Yep, as it turns out, the game will just add new random Townies every now and then, which means that it's Sam and Lauren's turn to escape this endless torture. May all those eternally broken sinks rot in a special place in hell. Go, Lauren. Go, Sam. Rivers Bend is no more. You have done your deed. And now, we finally know why Zane has those 2 tears on his face. And that's where my 20 hours with The Sims 3 on the 3DS ended. A journey from curiosity to chaos to tragedy. But as for the game itself, to my surprise, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I played it in bursts of 1 hour per day, and sure, I dreaded it initially, but halfway through I actually looked forward to playing the game. Maybe I really liked the storyline that I crafted, maybe The Sims is just a fun formula, even in its most bare bones form. So in and of itself, I don't think it's as bad as people made it out to be, but that doesn't mean I would recommend this game to anyone else either. Cause if you compare it with other Sims entries, then yes, I can totally understand the disappointment. And honestly, on the 3DS you would also expect better. The game was definitely rushed and it feels incredibly basic, but that's all it is. I didn't find it overly buggy or problematic, just severely starved of content. Either way, I had fun, and I hope you did too watching this video. If you've ever played Sims 3 on the 3DS, please share your thoughts in the comments, because for real, apparently this game was sold 770,000 times. I don't know whether to trust VG charts as a credible source, but even if it's half that number, it's crazy. And if you haven't played it, let me know what you think of the video, cause feedback always helps me improve. So thanks for watching, and I wish you a nice day.